No one expected that this tiny gadget would expand the entire land of Japan by dozens of times. Little Dora stuck the air pump into a flower pot, then flipped the switch, letting airflow non-stop into the soil. The next second, the pot exploded open. Turned out the soil had suddenly expanded to dozens of times its size. As long as the valve was shut off, the expansion stopped instantly. This was the crazy power of the expansion air pump. Nobita suggested making all of Japan bigger. Little Dora worried it would throw the whole world into chaos, so he pulled out another gadget that could freeze time temporarily. In an instant, everything stopped moving. Everyone except the two of them. Little Dora dragged the air pump into the backyard, turned it on, and the ground shook violently. Terrified, they shut the pump off right away. Nobita looked around and didn't notice any changes at all. Little Dora said, "That's because the walls are blocking the view." Then he launched a satellite rocket, and through the live feed, they could clearly see that Japan had become unbelievably huge. They put on their bamboo copters and flew into the sky, exploring the area. Narrow alleys that were once cramped now looked insanely wide. Even a tiny empty lot had grown into something the size of a soccer field. The entire city had transformed beyond imagination, but the two of them soon felt lonely. Little Dora returned home and pulled out the dream wind chime. With a gentle shake, it could awaken the people nearby. Then he grabbed the dream speaker, and with one loud shout, everyone in Japan would continue their daily routines inside their dreams. The next morning, on his way to school, Nobita bumped into a still dreaming Shizuka. Then he ran into John and Sunio, both snoring while walking. The four of them headed to school together like sleepwalkers. Suddenly, Nobita snapped awake. With the land expanded 10 times larger, it would take 200 minutes to reach school. He grabbed everyone and started running for their lives, or they'd definitely be late. But after just a few steps, they all collapsed from exhaustion. After somehow surviving until the end of the school day, Nobita dragged himself home. The moment he opened the door, he heard Little Dora blasting loud music. Suddenly, John's snoring rumbled from outside. Nobita opened the window and saw his friends coming to invite him to play baseball. But the trip to the field now took forever. By the time they finally arrived, John swung his bat, and the ball flew ridiculously far. Nobita sprinted after it with everything he had, but by the time he brought the ball back, the others were already heading home for dinner. Exhausted, Nobita returned home. The moment he entered his room, he felt a chill run down his spine. The next morning, he woke up shivering. When he opened the window, the outside world had turned into a frozen wasteland, and everything below the second floor was buried in ice. Nobita shook Little Dora awake, but Little Dora was already curled up in bed, shivering uncontrollably. From the news, they learned that Japan had become too large, causing the entire planet's climate to go haywire. They needed to pull out the air pump immediately to restore everything. The pump was in the backyard. They tried to open the first floor door, but it was completely frozen shut. They had no choice but to climb out through the second floor window. Nobita slipped on the ice and dragged Little Dora down with him. They grabbed pickaxes and kept digging, but after half a day, they had only made a tiny hole. Little Dora put on the super gloves to speed things up. Soon, they finally broke through to the backyard. Little Dora pulled out the ice shovel. With a gentle push, the ice in front of them vanished instantly. Working together, they yanked the air pump out of the ground, sending massive clouds of white vapor into the air. Nobita rushed to check the satellite feed, and the screen showed Japan shrinking back to normal. Little Dora restarted time, and the town eventually returned to its original state.